Hello, hello. We're going to go into another video, but we don't need to push two, do we? So let's just get
quick look at the brand new Thermomix TM7. It's bold, it's black, and
sorry, guys. I'm just there we go. That's what I wanted to do. Stop the share.
Smallest and smartest
the
kitchen
video.
device.
Yeah. Hello. Thanks for the wave, everybody. It's so funny at the moment because not only are we excited and learning the tech of the brand new TM7, but quite a few of us have got new laptops for, end of financial year, buying a new laptop. So we're still learning things in there. So I think my camera is kind of doing some fancy thing tonight. So anyway, we'll figure it out. But we're excited that you're here and we're excited to be presenting the TM7 to you. This is a although it's a TM7 showcase, really any model Thermomix, this will give you inspiration for. And in fact, the dishes that we're doing tonight can be done in a TM5, a TM6, or a TM7. So, we're really sharing the love as far as we want you to be inspired to cook whatever model you've got. But I have to give you a little warning. If you don't have a TM7 and you are cooking with a previous model, you are going to get a little bit of FOMO. So if you want to get up close and personal with the TM7, please reach out to your consultant or whoever invited you here this evening to have a demo and just really get hands-on with it, because it is exciting to do that. So I'm talking about it, but you cannot see it. So let me show you. Here is my very beautiful TM7. The first thing you will notice, particularly if you are a previous model Thermomix owner, is that it looks very different. So I'm going to show you, we're not going to talk a lot of tech, but I just want to show you the bowl particularly because that is very new in the way it's designed. And it has this casing. So what it means is that when we're cooking, it's not hot to touch. What it also means is actually really simple to pull apart. So now we've just got this lever on the side, which you flick. You can grab the blade out and then I'll just tilt that camera down so you can see, and then you can just lift your bowl out. So that's how it all works. So it's really super simple and is also dishwasher friendly. So, and what I'll show you, so I'll pop the blade back in, pop the bowl back in, and now I just need to flick that lever, and now it's all locked back into place. Now it is actually super clever because if you don't flick that lever, it won't sit properly on the base. So there's no way you can kind of not seal it and then start cooking and pour things in, because when you put it on and it's not sealed, it'll kind of wobble on the base. So that'll make you go, hang on, I haven't done that properly. And then all you've got to do is flick that and you're ready to go. So the other thing that you will have noticed, and I'm going to bring my camera back into the machine, is this incredible 10-inch multi-touch screen. So by multi-touch, what that means is that you can have food dropped on it. You can be doing whatever. If you're a really messy cook, just keep going because it's a really responsive screen. So you may have recalled that previously we've said with previous models, if you drop food on the screen to wipe it off, they've been a single touch screen and they can feel that they're being touched. Now this is my home screen, but again, unlike previous models, you can design your own home screen. So I've got mine with my weekly planner. So when it gets turned on, that's the first thing you see. You can also see my week if you want to go into more details, the pre-clean mode, the manual mode, and the egg boiler mode. Now you can actually set that up with whatever modes you like, which is really exciting. So that's my home screen. Next down is our cookie do screen. So this is where you can search your thousands of recipes, and with the filters that I have on, there's 24,711 recipes for me to search through, but there are actually about 100,000 recipes worldwide. So that's pretty exciting. You will be spoilt for choice of what you can make. Then the next one along is my personal recipes. So things that you can see, this is on recently cooked, but I can access my bookmarks here, my recipe lists, my collections, and my created recipes. What created recipes means is that you can actually be writing your own recipes in Cookie-Do as well, which is really exciting. The next one along is all of our modes. So all the modes you've known and loved before, and then a whole lot more that are exclusive. Some were exclusive to TM6 and have continued with TM7, and some are completely new just with TM7, for example, our browning mode. So meaning you can stir fry or high heat vegetables or proteins like you would in a fry pan, but without having to stand there and watch. And then the very last page is all of our settings. So you've got access to different information there. So you can end up tutorials and help and all sorts of fun things. So that's just a little brief overview, but you will obviously learn more about the machine as we cook tonight. I am sharing a layered dish with you, and I'll tell you that I've actually not made this dish before, and that's how confident we are with the TM7 and Cookie Dough, because we don't have to have made it before. Years ago, you would have practiced it and made sure it was perfect. Now we just go, we know it's going to be perfect because it's on Cookie Dough, it's triple tested, and the TM7 is so precise and perfect that we know it's going to work out perfectly. I've also got presenting with me tonight Irene and Denise, and I won't spoil the surprise of what they're doing, but I will tell you that by the end of the night, I think you'll be inspired and possibly hungry if you haven't had dinner yet. So what I'll do is I will go to Irene first because she has got to get a cake in the oven that needs to cook for 30 minutes. So we'll go to her and then you'll come back to me and then we'll see Denise as well. So we run a very fluid demo because although we sort of have a rough timesheet, sometimes we talk longer in this area or that area. So, you know, please feel free to shout out questions. We're going to just communicate with each other as well. That's the beauty of our business, is that we're all running it from our own kitchens tonight. My family have already said, "Ooh, what are you making?" They've already had dinner, but they want to know what they're getting for second dinner. I've said this will be lunch tomorrow. So hopefully there's some left. Now, for those who don't know, the price of the TM7 is $2,649. And hot off the press, we have an incredible offer for anybody who would like to come and join us in September or October. Can jump on board and earn their TM7 with only 4 sales in 90 days. So if you would like to know more about that and you're looking at us tonight going, those girls look like a bit of fun, I want to hang out with them, please reach out to me or to whoever invited you tonight, and we can give you some more information about that. Alrighty, I think I've talked enough for the minute, but we'll head over to the lovely Irene and I will see you again shortly.
Thank you. I've been hanging out with you guys for 15 years. so come and hang out with us.
Yeah, we met when we were 15.
Okay, I am making Edna's lemon curd tea cake. We have an abundance of lemons on the tree at the moment, so hence I give away lots of lemon dishes. So when we were planning this class, I said, oh, I've got to find a recipe. I actually said, let's find a dessert with lemons. So this is the one I found. It is literally 10 minutes of prep, so it's very, very quick. You need a 20 centimetre or an 8-inch tin. Springform would probably work really well with this. I've just lined it with a sheet of baking paper. I'm going to move this closer so you guys can see it. It actually looks amazing on the screen as well. And there is another recipe for Edna's to do mini sort of muffin styles as well. So I'm just going to click on start. This is a really easy recipe because you can literally throw everything in. I've separated things, like I've separated my eggs and my lemon juice, but in here I have my flour, my butter and my sugar. So I can go tick, tick, tick with all of those, pop them in. And in actual fact, it'll weigh those ingredients for you so you can go straight from the containers, the storage containers you've got. The egg goes in now as well. Click on next. And it's going to mix those for 30 seconds. So it literally is plain.
I love that. All cakes and biscuits are mixed somewhere between about 6 seconds and 30 seconds. So
yeah, it's so quick.
So quick. And you can see it counting down on the screen there, actually. That's a really good visual.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see the numbers. It's perfect. I used to be one of those people who threw out bananas that were too soft because I couldn't bake at all, and then got a Thermomix and went, oh, now I can turn them into a banana bread.
Okay. So that's all done. Now, I don't think it's supposed to be this soft. I haven't made this before. Maybe my butter's been sitting around too long. Or my egg's too big. Who knows? Because isn't it meant to be a crumble over the top for those that have made it before?
No, that's the whole thing.
Oh, it's sticky. It's meant to be like this?
Yeah. So it's actually a really interesting. I've made it multiple times and it is delicious. Well, that's all right. We talked about the fact that you don't have to practice stuff. You can just launch in. And you kind of spread it on the base and then you put your lemon curd and the bits on the top, you can almost, I just sometimes just used an ice cream scoop and just dolloped them on because it's almost like a shortbread. So
It actually feels more like exactly like a cookie dough, not
yeah,
so much a cake mix or a crumble, but it looks like a crumble in the photo.
yeah.
Anyway, let's do that. I need to wash this, so you guys can start the next dish. I'm just going to wash this and come back. So
Yeah, beautiful. All right. Well, we can come. Do you want, Denise, we might go to you for a minute if you're ready.
Yep, sure am.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Hang on, where are you?
do you want me to show the wash cycle?
Oh yeah, sure. Pop that on.
I'll do that.
And I actually, because I have made this recipe lots of times, and I have also made it with gluten-free flour, and it works beautifully with gluten-free flour as well for anybody who might need to do that. So I find with most baking, you can just substitute.
I've just covered the blades with enough water. It literally is a splash of dishwashing liquid. Lid goes on. Come out of this, back into my modes, and we go down to our pre-clean function. And it literally is a quick clean, and so you just hit play. So she washes herself. I love that.
Love it. Thank you. We'll see you shortly. There we go. Denise, over to you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to my kitchen in Mentone. I have the pleasure of cooking one of my daughter's favorite dishes tonight, which is the almost unpronounceable or unspellable Okonomiyaki. Yes, it is. It has more letters in it than the word cookie do, if you thought that that was hard to spell when we first got that. So the beginnings of Okonomiyaki is to have a pan ready to go. So I actually have what is one of our amazing host awards for the month that has just been added in a new way to our host awards menu for this month now as a completely free reward if there is a guest purchasing at your own demo. So it's one of our beautiful Fira ranges of cast iron pans, and it's in the oven getting nice and hot. And I'm going to pop a little bit of sesame oil in the bottom of that so that we can get a really beautiful hot base to put the okonomiyaki mix on, because we're going to oven bake this. So Eliza is going to follow me over here, and I am just going to pull my Fira out, put a little bit of this beautiful sesame oil in, and smear that all around the base. All right, now it's going to heat beautifully while we make the rest of our mixture. Okay, so welcoming back to our TM7 screen, and I have mine set to inspiration. So I have a lot of recipes to look at when I turn my TM7 on every day. So we're going to come down to my week and bypass these pasta dishes that I made tonight already and go to Okonomiyaki. Here we go. And begin. Now, this is just a sequence that you have already seen basically with Irene, where we just tick off a couple of items and hit next. So I have already actually made this first section of the recipe, which is the sauce, the okonomiyaki sauce that gets served over the top of the bake. So these 4 ingredients went in: honey, soy, ketchup, and Worcestershire, and then they cooked for 8 minutes. And we have this beautiful dark and rich sauce here. There we go. We can see that a bit better. And it smells amazing. And this is going to go on over the top. So that's staying warm in one of our beautiful thermal jugs from the mix shop. Okay. And now we're going to head on with the rest of the recipe. Here we go. All right. Pop that to the side, and the mixing bowl is clean and ready to go. All right, so the recipe is starts with an onion base, but I didn't have spring onions, and this is one of these recipes where you can actually just throw in almost anything. So I had just some regular onion going into the bowl, just like so. And then my digital twin here is telling me to put the lid on, and it's going to chop for, goodness me, 2 seconds. Beautiful. And then what we're going to be doing is just adding some more ingredients. So this is meant to have spring onions in it. This is just regular onions. You could have used shallots, but anything really is fine. And you can have the pieces. You could actually do another chop on this if you wanted it to be super fine, but I think this is fine. My daughter's actually going to be taking this to work tomorrow. It was her request that we make this tonight. Okay, so along with the okonomiyaki, to have it hanging all together, there's a little bit of a batter involved. So we've got some water going in, about 200 grams. And we'll get this as close to 200 as we can. Oh, and I might need another smidgen of water to get me to the 200. Oh, there we go. Perfect. And as you can see, when you hit the nail on the head, it ticks itself off, which is fantastic. Now, dashi powder. I didn't have any of that today. Again, we're going to do a few substitutions. So what we're popping in is actually a little bit of powdered chicken stock. Quite often when my daughter makes this, she just adds actually a teaspoon of our vegetable stock paste that we all know and love into the mix. So I'm going to pop about a teaspoon of that in. Yum. That'll create some nice flavour in there. And then we have eggs going in, 4 beautiful eggs straight in, and you can see how easy this recipe is. Oh, I forgot to tick off the dashi powder and then the eggs, and because they're not a weight, we just manually tick those off. So now we're after some plain flour. I think someone's already said, just how nice it is, and for those of us who do regular baking, to be able to take your canisters straight out of the pantry into the Thermomix bowl, and then they don't even hit the shelf, they just go straight back. All right, so we've got 160 flour going in. Very close already. There we go, 160. Done. And then our last 2 flavorings, we've got a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of sugar already pre-done. So in they go, and tick, tick, done. Next. Okay, so now we have our little mixing cycle. 5 seconds. Blink and you'll miss it. There we go. All right, so the batter is done. And I'm going to do just a little bit of a scrape around on the lid here to get all of that down into the bowl. There we go. And sometimes you do need to scrape down a little bit like this. If you're going to sort of be in manual control of your Thermomix a little, and it's for sort of more, users who've had theirs for a little while, sometimes you can manually turn your speed up slowly and keeps all of the batter in the bottom part of the bowl. Alrighty, so that batter is ready to go with the flavorings and the onions in it. So now we want to add the cabbage, and I actually don't have any ginger, so we're going to bypass that today. So we have finely sliced this white cabbage. You could use any kind of cabbage really, and I'm pretty sure we've used multicolored ones for this in the past. So in goes all of our cabbage. And I know my daughter likes carrot in here to give a bit of colour and a bit of extra flavour to the dish. So I am actually going to add a little bit of carrot that we pre-grated. So again, I'm going to throw that in. All right, because I've gone well over the 400, it's not ticking off automatically there. So I'll just give that a manual tick. And as I said, we're going to bypass that ginger today. And now it's going to simply combine for 30 seconds. Where is my top? Here we go. Pop our little lid on, and then we're going to be ready to basically throw it into the pan and start cooking. So while that's combining, I'm going to get my beautiful Fira cast iron pan out of the oven. Pop it there. When it comes with its lid, which is just here, but you can also get as an optional extra this beautiful silicone trivet, which means that you can pop it down on any surface. All right, so let's have a look. Mix completely with the spatula to ensure all of the cabbage is coated in the batter. And then this recipe actually asks you to start frying it in small batches like a pancake. But the alternative that you can do with this recipe is to actually just make it as a tray bake. So that's what we're going to do today, and we're going to use these beautiful cast iron dishes to do that. So here goes our batter in, and we're popping it in. This is sizzling a bit, which is the reason why we put that beautiful sesame oil in to begin with. So that is all going to go into this gorgeous cast iron, which keeps it so nice and piping hot. And we're going to spread this all around. And then this is going to go into the oven, a nice hot oven, for, I reckon, about half an hour. And we're going to come out with a beautiful bake. And hopefully I can show you that at the end with some of this beautiful sauce and a bit of Kewpie mayonnaise on it as well. Over to you, ladies.
Yum. Thanks, Dee. All righty. Might quickly come to me before we go back to Irene. That'll be delicious. And the Fira range actually has 3 different shaped dishes. So there's the round one that Denise had. There's a big oval one, which is taller. And then there's also a lasagna or roasting dish as well. So it's a really beautiful collection, and it has been very popular since we launched it. All right, so over to my trusty companion here. So again, going into our recipe. Now, the thing that I love about this recipe is that it is actually, there's a bit going on, and it's really introducing layered cooking. And we find a lot of people will say that they have a Thermomix, but oh, did I get a Varoma with my Thermomix? And we're like, yes, everybody got one. So we really want you to use it and get the most out of your Thermomix. So this has 3 components, this recipe. And the first one is actually a dip that you might all be familiar with. So I'm actually going to pull this in closer to the machine just for the moment. So what we've got here is some Parmesan and a garlic clove. So we'll pop that in, and I'm going to tick those both off and grate those for 10 seconds on speed 9. So you'll notice here that the play button doesn't become active until I pop the lid on. So a bit of a safety feature, and that's the digital twin that Denise talked about before as well. I'm not sure if you can hear the amazing sound it makes, but there's my beautifully grated Parmesan. And it makes a lovely little dance move. Oh, actually, let me just, I skipped ahead. Oh no, just scraped down sides. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't supposed to step that aside. Right, here we go. So now I have in here, I have sun-dried tomatoes and capsicum. So I'll pop those both in. Now I had a bit less sun-dried tomatoes than the recipe said, and a little bit more capsicum than the recipe said. So again, like Denise is doing tonight, we can improvise with things like that. Raw cashews, I just stocked up on those the other day, so then in they go. It's 120 grams, mind you. There's 114 left because I've been snacking on them while we're sitting here. Olive oil, 20 grams. Now, what you might notice, this is the funny camera thing. I'm very sorry, guys. I need to figure this out. Is that it weighs in 1 gram increments. So we're going up to 20 grams. Beautiful. And it's ticking that off itself, which is brilliant. And then we've got some white vinegar here as well.
Everyone's getting to see your lovely brand new thermoserver.
Yeah, exactly. Are you jealous?
Just a bit.
And some white vinegar. I know, it arrived a few days ago and I've used it. I think I've used it every day. It's so cool. I love it. Even my kids have noticed it. You know, when you think kids wouldn't notice it in the kitchen, they're like, that's really cool, Mum. Can you get more of those? Alrighty, so now we're just going to chop that 1 second. Sorry, not 1 second. Turbo 5 times. Beautiful. So what that is, and people who've been here before will have heard me say before that the turbo button is one of my favorites. So what that does with the TM7, it actually has the ability to set the turbo button to go for as many times as you like. So it makes it really easy. Like previous recipes might have said turbo, 5 times, but you then had to do that 5 times. Whereas with this, that's not the case. Now, this is a dip that many of you, this dressing is a dip that many of you would have made before, which is our sun-dried tomato and capsicum dip. Something that you would pay a lot of money for in the supermarket, but...
And those who haven't made it, absolutely give this one a go. It's one of our favorites. Absolutely delicious.
Yeah, 100%, Irene. And it's actually, the other funny thing is, for those who have been in Thermomix world for a long time, it's actually been around for a long time, hasn't it? So it was one of our original favorites that we would make in cooking classes and things. So I've just added 100 grams of lemon juice. Oh, bang on 100. That's impressive. And a little bit more olive oil. So another 50 grams of, and that's because this one's a dressing. So in the dip on its own, you're not adding as much liquid to all of that. Beautiful. If you've made this one before, let us know. And this is one of those recipes that we would say, the humble brag. You take it to a function and everyone's super impressed about this dip that you've, where did you buy it? And then you're like, oh, made it myself. It's pretty cool. All right, so now we're just going to give that another mix for 5 seconds on speed 6. Beautiful. All right. So now you can see that it's actually more of a dressing, but not tip that onto the new laptop, hey? And now we're going to set that aside because that's going to be our dressing. So I'll set that aside and we'll be using that soon. So while I wash my bowl, we'll go to Irene because I think she's going to make something very delicious now.
Well, I kind of already started because I'm conscious that it's already 30 and I still need half an hour to cook it. So in here are literally my 4 ingredients: my lemon juice, my sugar, I've already forgotten, my lemon juice, my butter, my sugar, and my egg. So another 4 ingredients, and it's making my lemon curd. Now, for those that haven't made lemon curd, this is very bright orange. This is an all egg yolk curd. I made a beautiful engagement cake for a friend, actually fellow consultant. Her daughter got engaged on the weekend. So I made them a beautiful cake, and inside was lemon curd. This has a little bit of gelatin in it. It is quite thick. So when you're looking for recipes for cakes, you need to add a little bit of gelatin in, but you'll see how set that is. Really, really thick. So it's quite delicious. This is all egg yolk because I want it to have a really creamy, rich consistency. Whereas the one you'll see now, just already done, is quite different. So you'll see the color difference already is quite, I still have very yellow eggs. It's still much more yellow. So you can see how orange that is versus how yellow that is. So I've done this so we can get the cake in the oven. I've used a glove, pressed through half of the pastry or half of the dough down the bottom. I'm literally going to pour the curd over the top of that. Which is probably not a great idea because it's going to melt all the butter in my pastry. So I apologize now if this doesn't work. It's because I really didn't follow the instructions. It's okay. I love living on the edge. So the next part is to add the rest of the pastry on top. We can get this glove back on. I'm trying to recycle it. And so with this one, I think I'm just going to do a bit like the image. I'll go back to the image there. It almost looks like it's crumbled on top. So I'm going to do my best to cover as much of the area as possible, and then get this into the oven. You don't need to watch this part, but basically you get the idea of what I'm doing. So we can move on to the next person so we can get through all the dishes tonight. Or not. I think someone's busy.
Sorry, Irene, I was at the sink.
All right, don't need to watch me doing this part, but they get the idea.
Oh, no, but I think the good thing about them seeing that is because that batter, that's exactly what that
Yeah,
batter's like.
you need a pair of gloves. I tried to do it with some cutlery. It's just too hard.
Yeah, I've done it with a mini ice cream scoop
I
and
guess that
sort of
would work as well.
dumped it on in kind of like that, because as it cooks, it kind of spreads out a little bit, and yeah, it's pretty yum.
But do let the lemon curd cool. I know I'm in a bit of a rush tonight.
That would make sense.
You'll get much better results.
Yeah, fair enough. That's good advice. All righty, so back to me. All righty, so I've given that bowl a quick wash. So now the thing that's quite cool about this recipe is it's full layered cooking. So now it's asking me to put the Roma dish in. Now, in the interest of time, I've done this in advance. So I just want you to see what's happening here. So I've got, no, it's showing you me. It doesn't want to show you that. It wants to show you me. It's very weird. I need to sort this camera business out. But anyway, what we've got going on here is the Roma dish with diced pumpkin. I can use my hands for that. 1 centimetre. Sorry, I don't know what this camera situation is. I need to sort it out. Diced pumpkin and sliced chicken on top. All righty, so that's all ready to go. And I'm just spreading that out. And then the next thing is the Varoma tray. And what I've got on the Varoma tray is a layer of couscous. So you can see here there's baking paper there. And in fact, in the recipe, which I'll show you on the screen here, it actually does a little, so it's got the pumpkin, insert the Varoma tray, and I'm going to say set as current step. So if you want to skip steps, and there's actually a built-in video in the recipe to show you what to do and how to line that. So you've used the Varoma. This actually, because this recipe is for multi-machined, it's done on a TM6 Varoma, but the concept is exactly the same. So that's pretty cool. Beautiful. So we've done that, we've done that, we've done that, and now we're up to here. All righty, so I'm going to go set as current step. All righty, so it's telling me to use coriander. I didn't have coriander. I do like coriander. Pop in the chat if you like it or hate it. We have found that it's one of the most controversial herbs, is our beloved coriander. But you can just use whatever you've got, or leave it out if you don't want to, if you don't want to use a herb or you don't have them, just leave them out and you'll have flavors in other things. It does say leaves only. I'm a bit rough around the edges with that, but again, it's good to do it the way, however you would like it. So however your family are going to be happy to do it. And now we're just going to chop that. 2 seconds on speed 7. All righty, so this is the soup. Now, if you've not made this soup before, this sweet potato soup's been around for a while, and it's actually a really delicious one. So I've just cut up some sweet potato there. Now it said 520 grams. I've got 560 there because that was one sweet potato, and I don't like waste, so I was never going to throw out 40 grams. Then red lentils, so I've got those here. In they go. Now, I have the end of a jar of stock paste. So what I like to do when there's a bit left in a jar is use that to not waste it. So I'm actually just going to add some water to that and give that a shake. Get that in there. And then I'll need to add a bit more water. So 1250. Counting up in 1 gram increments. Make sure eyes go a bit funny. Beautiful. All righty. So next, stock paste is already in, so we can skip that. Salt and pepper. I probably had a fair bit of stock paste, a bit more stock paste than what the recipe said. So I'm just going to add the pepper, but not the salt. So tick, tick. Next. All righty. So here we go. So we always have to have the lid on, but then now I'm going to jump straight to the cooking and pop this aroma on the top here. So I've got my dish here with my pumpkin and my chicken, my other one here with my couscous. And on that goes. And I'm going to go back down to here, place aroma into position and go cook. Now, what that other instruction was telling me to do, which I have already done, of course, is to put a salad bowl on top, because this is the chicken and pumpkin are going to go in a salad. So I've got a big dish here with spinach, and then it said to chop up some spring onions, and there's some dried cranberries. Now it also said apricots. I didn't have apricots, but I probably wouldn't have added them even if I did. So again, choose your own adventure. You can add anything to this sort of salad, because then when the chicken's cooked, we're going to throw the chicken and pumpkin in, put the dressing on and toss it around. So whatever if you wanted to dice up extra capsicum or anything else. In fact, pop in the chat other things that you might pop in there. Different herbs. It did say mint and coriander. Again, I've only got parsley, so I'm going to pop some parsley in because we're a bit of a fan of that. I normally have basil, but I haven't at the moment. So we kind of just roll with what we've got with those sorts of things. Now, Denise, how's your pancake going?
Oh, yes, it's going.
Beautiful. All righty. So we've got a cake in the oven. We've got some chicken and everything steaming. So while that's doing that, I'm just going to make this a bit pretty. So in goes my spring onions. And, you know, like Dee said before, if you don't have, in fact, I'm even thinking when there's cashew nuts in there, you could add some other nuts and things as well. So now that's ready to go. The other great thing about this is it's one that you could do in advance, because you can serve this salad warm or cold. And then if you're having it the next day, you could make the dressing and make the salad, but keep it separate and then just dress it at the time. So while everything's happening, what I'm going to do is share my screen and go into Cookie Do. But just before I do that, are there any questions in the chat, or have anyone got any questions that they'd like to ask? Just looking in the chat. Love coriander. Well done, Dee. I know it is one of those very controversial herbs though, isn't it? All righty. So what I'm going to do then is share my screen and just give everyone, because I keep using this word cookie dough, but do we all know what it means? Screen. All righty. Can everyone see that? Thanks, Debs, for the thumbs up there. I'm just going to minimize the crowd so I can see my screen. So if you do have, I can't see you now. So if anyone does have a question or comment, please just either shout out, or if write it in the chat and one of the girls will shout it out to me. So for those who aren't familiar with Cookie Do is our Netflix for recipes, is probably the best way to describe it. So it's a global platform, and as I mentioned before, it's got over 100,000 recipes, and it's growing all the time. So multiple countries, multiple languages, and multiple things to cook. So anything that your heart desires. Now, I also mentioned before, we now have the ability to write our own recipes. So you might find something in here and go, well, you know, it's got spring onions, but I like a red onion instead. Well, you can rewrite that recipe and call it your version and change that ingredient from spring onion to red onion, for example. Or you can write a recipe completely from scratch. What you'll tend to find is that the favorite recipes that you've cooked before Thermomix, there will be something in Cookie Do that's very similar. So it means you can follow those methods, but just use your ingredients and variations. And we talk about, there's 3 ways to cook with the Thermomix. There's manually, so you can set your own time, temperature, and speed to create your own recipes. There's the guided recipes, which is what we've been doing tonight. Or there are all those modes, which I touched on before. So with that, when I mentioned high heat and egg boiler and different things as well. But when you're in Cookie Do and looking for things, you can be in Explore, for example. And the example I like to give, because I feel like it shows a lot of variety, is if you search for chicken, for example, And then if you scroll through here, you'll see lots of different options: chicken lasagna, chicken curry, chicken soup, lemon chicken, chicken burgers, etc. So you can see lots of different options here. Now, if you wanted to refine your search a little bit more, so you're not scrolling through, so this is saying there's 1,595 results. Now, I might go into my filters now and go, oh, I'd actually like a chicken that's a pasta or rice dish. Now it's made it 149. So it just makes that a little bit easier to search through. Now, this low waste chicken lasagna was a recipe that was written last year and very popular, great way to use up extra vegetables and things. So if you see something you like the look of, you can go, oh yeah, I like the look of that. Now, why don't we add that to our week? And we might have that on Saturday. And if I'm going to cook that, I'll add it to my recipe list, to my shopping list. Now, I might have a lot of those things, but when I go into my shopping list, I can tick off the things that I already have. The other thing I love about whenever I do this is that I always stumble across recipes that I haven't necessarily seen before. So that's a bit of fun. Now, this guy here, this is actually a really popular recipe at the moment. There's lots of marry me dishes. Most of them involve chicken. This one involves pasta as well. And it is actually one of our demo dishes. And it does show one of the features of the TM7, which is open lid cooking. So we've always said that the Thermomix is like a temperature controlled saucepan, but actually with the open lid cooking, it is now that more than ever. When the lid is open, the blades are not turning. So you can have anything, whether it be a pasta sauce or whether you're stewing some apples or fruit or something, you can have it there and do exactly as you would with a saucepan, except you've got a timer set. So if you do wander off and you go out and you hang a load of washing, or you get caught on the phone, or you're doing something, it will just turn off when it's done. It's not like a saucepan where if you forget about it, you've ruined whatever's in there. So that's a great feature with that. So there's lots of these fun recipes here. So now I can go in and have a look at my recipes. So it's categorized in 4 ways. We've got our bookmarks, which are like our favorites, our created recipes, our collections, and our recipe lists. So the recipe lists are the ones that you make yourself. So for example, I made one today called a TM7 Showcase, which Denise had sort of wasn't decided what she was making. We had a few different options, so that's why hers isn't in this one. But you know, we are very fluid over here, aren't we, girls? So, but you can see that there's lots of different ways, things that you can put together. So you might have midweek meals, you might have, if you've got, say, a gluten-free member of the family or any dietary requirements, you might have entertaining meals. Then what we've got here is our weekly planner. So in our weekly planner, you can actually plan what you're going to cook for the week and pop it in there. So whoever gets home first, there's your one, Denise. I did add it in here. Whoever gets home first can start cooking. And in fact, this got added into our planner because my daughter wanted to make them today. And then we realized that we didn't have chocolate chips, which of course disappointed her no end because it was the key ingredient. So we'll actually based on that, I'm going to go and move to another day because I've told her I'll buy chocolate chips tomorrow and we'll pop that in to make tomorrow. Then the other thing is, of course, if I'm making all these things, then they need to be on my shopping list. So I can go here, add to shopping list. Oh, I went into my recipe then, not into my 3 dots. And you can see that I access that through these 3 dots on the screen here. And that is the same on the Thermomix itself. You can click on those 3 dots and add things to your shopping list from the Thermomix screen. And then there is also an app. So on the app, down the bottom, there's a little shopping cart, or on your desktop, like I am here, you've just got it on the top there in the menu. So you can see that it's by category or by recipe. So by category, if you are walking around the supermarket, you've got all your ingredients here and they're in the order that they would be in the supermarket. But you can go through the list and go, oh yeah, I've got bicarb, I've got baking powder, I need to buy dates, I've got sugar, yeah, good for sugar. Oh yeah, I need walnuts. Oh, I've got xanthan gum. So you can go through and you can tick off the things. It'll include everything. So it's got water there. You don't need to buy water. You can use what you've got from the tap. Aren't we lucky? So going through it that way. Or you might look at it by recipe, because as you're going through there, for example, then you can be looking at this and go, because I'm pretty sure I've got this thing I'm cooking now on here. Yeah, so here it is. That was my shopping list today. All I needed was the couscous. So I can go remove that from my shopping list. So now that's not on there anymore. So now I can just go through and be shopping for the things that are what I actually need to buy. Once I've done that, Actually, you can actually add other ingredients as well. So if you need, dog food, for example, or toilet paper, or, you might be having fish one night with the salad. So you can be adding, fish to the list. So whatever else you need, this can be your comprehensive shopping list. And then once it's done, you've got the choice, you can share it. So if someone's on their way home, you can share this and text them a message of the shopping list, which is fabulous. Or you can go here and go order ingredients. And this is where some more magic happens, where Woolworths comes up. Now, at the moment, we are only partnered with Woolworths, but we are hoping to have other partners in the future. And it will create your Woolworths shopping cart for you. So here it is. It's got all your ingredients there. But you might look at that and go, oh, White Wings, I don't necessarily want that brand. And you can go swap, and you can then have a look and see what other brand options there are. And then you might go, do you know what? The Woolies brand's only $1.30. Let's go for that, because groceries are so expensive these days. If I can save, a couple of dollars here and there, why not? So there you go. You've got all of that there. And when you're ready, you can go add to shopping cart. So it's added 54 items to my cart, and I won't continue now because that's actually not exactly what I need. And most of those things are already in my pantry. So I'm going to go stop share there so I can just see, because I couldn't see anybody while I was doing that. Did that give you a good overview of Cookie Do? Who's got Cookie Do? Give me a bit of a show of hands. I can see a few people there. Lovely. Has anybody got any sort of favorite recipes that they're doing, or would you like to share anything that you're doing, or ask any questions about Cookie Do? No? Okay. What I'm going to show you then, and this is hot off the press, and I don't even know when it's going to be available to you, but anyone who's been in Thermomix land for a long time will be familiar with our thermoservers. And we love our thermoservers. They keep our food hot or cold for 2 hours. They're incredible. So they have been the same since the beginning of time until now, and they have just rejigged them, re-engineered them, and I guess, in line with the TM7, new and modern and pretty special looking, we now have a new and improved thermoserver. So the first thing you might notice is the shape. The benefit of that is that these will stack inside each other. Now, for me, some people may only have 1 or 2 thermoservers, but I think as consultants, I have a lot of thermoservers. I use them all, but they are a little bit tricky to store because they have to kind of stack on top of each other. You'll also notice this strap here, which also provides the base. So it makes it really easy to carry. So if you've made something that you take into somebody's house, and then the lid is actually the stainless steel lid as well. So it does insulate the warmth from the top as well as the sides and the bottom. So it's a beautiful stainless steel dish. And because of its quality and thickness, this will actually keep food hot or cold for 3 hours. So can you imagine, you can make dinner at 4 o'clock and eat it at 7 o'clock. And as I mentioned, you've got this fabulous strap here. So keep an eye out for when that will become available on, well, I'm not going to say in the mix shop. I'm going to say it's probably going to be a host reward. Now, I don't know if you've picked up any tips yet tonight or some inspiration, but when you host your own demo, you get a lot of hints and tips and a lot of inspiration. And I've had a few people host TM7 demos where they've had guests there who are Team 5 or Team 6 owners who have messaged me afterwards when we've spoken and said, I've been so inspired and I'm using my Team 5 or Team 6 so much more now. And then quite a few of them have gone, but now I want a TM7, and I know I'd use that even more because it's even more intuitive. So keep that in mind. But if every time you host a demo, you are eligible for host rewards. And as Denise mentioned before, we've got a special catalogue at the moment, which goes until the end of August and does include the Fura range as well. So it is a catalogue because it's designed that you can be what we call, I was going to say serial host. That's not the right word. Super host. That's the word. A super host, and host as many demos as you like and collect as many of those host rewards as you like as well. So that's what we're really wanting you to do, because we really want you to have a whole collection of host rewards and love your Thermomix and be using your Thermomix all the time. So does anybody, I've just done a whole big chat then, but Denise or Irene, anything happening in your kitchen that we need to see?
Not yet, not for me. I've still got another 12 minutes.
Oh, okay, 12 minutes. All right. Well, what I'm going to do, because I've only got about a minute and a half and I used boiling water. So I'm going to work on the theory that I'm just going to do the next step because I think we're good. So, all righty. So this was that step where it says, so add into the serving bowl. Then it said dried apricots, mint, coriander, spring onions. And it does actually say chickpeas or kidney beans. I'm not going to add those tonight. I'll add those tomorrow so it doesn't, just to keep it dry, if that makes sense. Now we're going to give this a little stir. So with the varoma, we're going to lift the lid away from us and pop it on the, what was that? Oh, just the empty jar from the thing. Pop this on the bench. Actually, I'm just going to commit to the bench getting a bit damp there because I'd like you to see how this is sort of looking. And it says to give this a bit of a stir. You can see that some of the chicken around the edges is not quite as cooked. So by giving it a stir, breaking up the chicken there, throwing a pumpkin around. And you'll notice actually for people who've had previous Thermomixes that you've got a slightly different shape with this spatula here. So it is actually really good for scraping out the whole bowl. But you may also notice it doesn't have that safety guard anymore. And that's because the new lid does not actually have a hole through it. So it's actually much safer to, if you've got little kids around and you don't have to, if you forget the measuring cup or anything like that. Well, it doesn't have actually a measuring cup, it has a cover now. So there we go. So lightly stir that. And then
anyone who wants to make this dish and you've got a vegetarian coming, you can put the chicken inside those chicken bags you can get at the supermarket, and it keeps all the juices of the chicken inside the bag, and then you can literally split the salad into two, one vegetarian, one normal.
Oh, that's a great tip, Irene. That's a great tip. I love it. Speaking of vegetarian, I did actually I talked about that marry me chicken pasta before. I did that vegetarian last week and it was absolutely delicious. So I reckon I would do that again. Or you could do chicken and add extra vegetables. But we did mushrooms and zucchini and used the Swiss brown mushrooms and quartered them, and it was really good. But yeah, that's a great tip. You can actually just do it with a baking paper as well. If you haven't got the bags from the supermarket, you can wrap your chicken in baking paper and then that'll keep all the juices and things secure in there as well. So fantastic. Denise, how are you going?
I am ready.
Yay.
I'm ready. Okay. So, yep, it is finished.
Let me put you in the spotlight, my friend.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Are we in the spotlight? We're in the spotlight. Welcome to my, here we go, oven. Oh gosh, that looks fantastic. That is browned beautifully. Oh, it smells great. And again, because I'm putting it on top of the trivet, I can pop this anywhere. I can put this straight onto the table for serving. And if I wanted to, of course, I can put this on to keep it nice and warm as well. Doesn't it just look fantastic? I absolutely love the green. And I do actually have the other version of this as well, Michelle. So, yep, I love this beautiful big one as well. You can fit lamb shanks in here. You can cook bread in here. I remember when these first came along, I thought, why on earth would you cook bread in one of these things? Now I know. They are amazing. Yeah, so amazing
crunchy bread, delicious.
For bread. And I say snap with this one, Mish. Amazing. Yes, I can't wait to, experiment with stacking these. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to serve up some of this amazing Okonomiyaki. I was told by my daughter that I pronounced that incorrectly last time. So we are going to, I'm going to do some more sesame flavor. Seeds adding to the oil. Now this is extremely hot, so you want to be very, very careful when you're working with cast iron. I have discovered it holds the heat so well.
But as you say, it presents beautifully on the table, and the fact that
Oh,
you've got the
so
trivet.
beautifully.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if you've got them, but you can actually get little silicone handles for those handles.
I do have those. I'll have to go and grab them.
Yeah, so when I'm serving it on the table and there's people there, I say people, but even my family, whatever, I'll always just leave the silicone handles on. So if they do go to touch it, oh, look at that. Yum.
Doesn't this look fantastic? And then you go the sauce
Yum.
and you sort of crisscross this. You go la 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 la. Oops, I didn't do that very well at all. Okay, I'm going to do a better job with the Kewpie mayo because you can absolutely crisscross like beautifully with
Yeah, oh,
this.
that looks so good.
There we go. So there is your okonomiyaki. Eliza's taking a beautiful close up of that for you.
It looks so
And
good.
looks so good and it smells so beautiful in the kitchen. And how easy is it? It literally is like making a pancake. And here are those handles that you were talking about, Mish. Yeah, so you can just pop these after you've taken it out of the oven. They actually sort of click on there, in fact. So now they don't come off unless I really pull that hard. And then this is sort of really much safer to put on the table. Because people will obviously handle it from the handles. So yeah, so there you go. Okonomiyaki as a tray bake. Fantastic and easy for family meals to take somewhere. You could like bake this and take it to a picnic or something like that. And you can put in virtually anything that is in your fridge. You could put in any other vegetable. Peas would be beautiful in here as well, or broad beans or something like that. So yeah, you can make it gluten-free and it uses everything up in your fridge. So there you go.
I love it, Dee.
Okonomiyaki.
I love it. I love how well you say it, although you're not saying it properly. I'm
not saying it properly again.
going to join you on the spotlight. I absolutely love it. And the thing that's so cool about that whole tray bake situation is that you could have that for breakfast and put a poached egg on it, or you could have at dinner time with, you might have cooked sausages on a barbecue. Like you could really do anything with that.
Absolutely.
And it would be a delicious side dish, but yeah, there's something similar. There's a vegetable layered dish that is also baked in that round fira, and I've served it as a breakfast thing with poached eggs, and everyone thought it was amazing. So that's yeah, my girls would love that actually. I need to add it to the list.
Oh, and it's so easy to cook it all in one like that instead of doing the individual pancakes. It's a real time saver to just throw it in a pan and in the oven.
I agree. Oh, that's fabulous. Oh, Eliza's going to be very popular at work tomorrow.
So Morella's asking about your sauce holder server. Is that the Thermomix one?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And this is the shorter version. I've also got the tall version for when you've got, the 24 family here and you're doing gravy for, all of Christmas lunch. So yeah, the small version and the tall one. And of course, because they're insulated, you can use them for hot or cold. So you might have pouring cream or custard or something in one of these as well. It doesn't have to just be hot, but I absolutely love these. I think they're an amazing addition to the kitchen.
Oh, you girls are twinning tonight.
Oh,
mine has brandy custard, I think, has been the thing that's been nice. Brandy custard and gravy. But actually 2 small ones. Oh, Deb's got one as well. I love it. Deb's got the tall one. But if you've got a lot of people at the table, 2 small ones is good because you put one at each end. So as well. So yeah, we love it. Really good for caramel sauce, like toffee sauce. If you're doing sticky date puddings, you can just pour it straight into your mouth.
You so can.
These are really good. So yeah, go to the mix shop for these. Be sure to pop your consultant's name in so she gets a little thank you for you.
Or she or he.
He or she, thank you. Yes, thanks for picking me up there, Denise. All righty, mine's only got a couple of seconds. Have you pulled a cake out of the oven, Irene?
No, she's looking. Oh my God, it smells so amazing in here.
She's checking it. How's it looking?
Looks really good.
All right, I'm going to just come to me for a minute then. And can you hear my machine? Do-do-do-do. It makes a lovely little chime. Let's see if we have pop that down there. Oh, this camera thing is really weirding me out. It's too smart for me. I need to work it out. Alrighty, so yeah, that looks good now. So you can see here, I've got fogging up my glasses, but the pumpkin and the chicken is all cooked. I'm just going to cut a little bit of chicken in half. It did say to cube the chicken, but I'd already sliced it when it said that, so I'm just rolling with that. Well, yeah, that's good to go. Beautiful. Now, let's not forget that in the bowl here was sweet potato and lentils and all other good things. So, based on that information, let's keep going with the recipe. So I'm going to go next, remove aroma and transfer to the bowl. I'll do that in a minute. Better pop this on. Alrighty, and now we're just going to blend the soup for 30 seconds on speed 7. Now, just a little tip, when you're in a guided recipe, if you go, oh, I'd rather blend it on a different speed, I can actually go in here and I can still adjust that up or down. So although it's a guided recipe, you're still in control and you can do what you want to do. Beautiful.
Really likes focusing on your kettle today.
Oh, why is that? It's so weird.
Oh,
Really,
you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out.
really need to sort that thing out.
You'll figure it out.
Sorry, everybody, on that. Alrighty, so as I mentioned, the beauty of this bowl is this cover. It means that although the bowl's hot, I can touch it anywhere. And I'm going to transfer this delicious soup. I'm just going to swap hands so you can see how creamy and smooth this soup is. Well, see, it worked quite well then. Beautiful. Look at that. We are sorted for lunches and probably dinner tomorrow night, I reckon. Have people made many soups in their Thermomix? How good is that? So I'm not going to add the couscous right now, but I do want to add these because I want that to wilt the spinach while it's still hot. Yum. So you could do anything. When I had couscous before, I actually don't use couscous very often. But I was thinking it'd be quite nice. You could use quinoa, you could do some wild rice or something like that. And I just want to kind of give it a little bit of a toss. A little bit on the bench, a little bit in the bowl. There we go. Beautiful. And then, of course, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. I really need to sort that camera out for next time. I apologize. So now I've got the dressing and I'm just going to add that on. Dressing / dip. Beautiful. Who wants to come and eat with us tonight? You're going to let me?
No.
No. Oh,
You really
any
like
techies in the audience out there?
it's heading to your apron.
What is that about?
That's okay. You'll figure it out.
I know, but how is that? Like, this is Apple, right? It's supposed to be clever. I feel like it's not being very clever.
It'll be a setting. You'll figure it out. So
I know. Well, my husband came in before and I'm like, I can't, and was like mouthing to me, can I fix it for you now? And I'm like, no, I'm like in the middle of stuff now. We're just going to have to roll with it tonight. But that's all right. This is a good practice run. I'm going to run another one next week, probably next Thursday.
so
Tonight and next week. Have a look at that though.
yeah, it's a great salad.
Yeah.
We've made this salad. My gosh, it's been around for at least 10 years, if not longer. That salad, I add lots of fresh herbs, so coriander, mint, whatever you've got, parsley. It's really nice with lots of herbs. And I also
I might add some cherry tomatoes. What do you reckon?
yeah, you can do the cherry tomatoes. If you want to go Italian, tomatoes, olives, those sorts of things.
Olive.
Otherwise, dukkha's really nice. If you want to go,
Ooh,
yeah,
good.
dukkha spice through that is delicious as well.
Yum. I tell you what, let's just go like that. I'll get rid of the sponge because that's not pretty. But look at that. Got a feast here now. That's what I love about these Zoom things. Now, tomorrow, I'll be like, oh, that'll go in the lunchbox. That'll be my lunch. That'll be dinner. Fabulous. Fabulous. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm going to go over to Irene in a minute and see if looks like she's putting icing on a cake there. Nice. Yep, there you are.
Just lower this so well. Focus on the cake. She's a bit crispy around the sides, but that's okay. I think it's just one of those things when you're trying a new recipe. But she's ready to go. It actually smells so good. Yeah.
It's the most incredible cake. It's a bit like you with this salad, having made it lots of times. I've made that cake lots of times, and it is a winner every time.
Every single
I
time.
think I'll try and slice it now. I don't think it'll succeed. It'll look anything like that. It'll probably just go like that when I try.
Yeah, no, let it cool. And the other thing is, and you noticed when you were looking at the thing, in fact, let's put us all on the screen now because we've all got add spotlight. Here we are. The other thing with that recipe is that you can actually make it in little muffin tin as well. So as individual serves, which if you're taking it somewhere that may be more picnicky, it's easier to do sort of individual serves. It's really good. Thank you, Denise, and thank you, Irene, for presenting tonight. And thank you to everybody for joining us. And apologies, I will sort out my camera situation. But we're really excited to be cooking with the Thermomix, sharing our knowledge of it with you and learning with you as well, which is awesome. As I mentioned, if you would like to know anything about joining our team and getting a TM7 on your bench before Christmas, come and talk to either whoever invited you or reply to the confirmation email, and I can put you in touch with the right people as well. Or maybe we are the right people. So depending on where you live, you might be in our team. And we've got a wealth of knowledge in our team stemming back 15 years with Irene, and about, is it 13 or 14 for you, Denise? Something like that, and 12 with me. And so, so we've all been around for a long time.
A long time.
Have a lot of fun together. So thank you, everybody. We really appreciate you joining us tonight, and we look forward to cooking for you again soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
And thank you to my camera woman, Eliza.
Yes,
Thank you,
thanks,
everyone.
Eliza. You'll be very popular at work tomorrow.
Good night, everyone.